So now that I am a little bit more chill myself, I want you to remind you to look around the store. There are a lot of incredible things here and of a healing nature. So let's all take a deep breath right now and let it out. One more. And let it out. And let me start the second part by saying what a blessing it is to have all of you here. As Asaph pointed out, there's a need for this to come together in community and share our resources and our strengths and laugh a lot. We need more of that. So let me start session 2 of the boot camp. So back to session 1, let's say this much. So you're lying in bed. It's 3 in the morning. You don't have ready access to that CBD. But you do have access to some ocean bottom soap or smelling salts. That's good. But the first question you want to ask yourself when you're faced with a problem is it personal or is it universal? So looking at Amy and Zoe, the identical twins, the problem with seeing our problems as personal is it really isolates us. And there are no problems that are solved from the source of the problem. And even there, the sharing that we did in the first session, you're not the only person, I hate to say this, Oda, in this world that is a Satan during menopause. Her words. It is universal, and in every single one of those problems, including my own, that there's no longer going to be psychology in the first year for nursing, I have an opportunity to grow. And coincidentally, I'm going to be teaching some more courses on drugs. Back to the CBD. So if you think of it as personal, you become, and I write about it in the article, very egocentric and narcissistic. And that's what we are with our stress. Me, 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 me. And we have to really think about that our problems, there's a distinction between an acute problem and a chronic problem. And that some of the people that come to you with their problems don't even, in fact, want them solved. They just want an ear to be listened to. So, equally, we are not meant to solve everybody else's problems. We want to make sure we create a space to take a nap, enjoy a bath, dare I say, have some fuck-it therapy, whatever it is that you need. Now we're moving over to week 2 with my twins, which also includes everybody in this room, because I think of optimism and pessimism as a sliding scale. None of us are all optimists or all pessimists. Some days we're full-on pessimists, especially if we didn't sleep that night. That next day, stay far away. So the next session I was looking at was the idea, if you look over here, is whether or not the problem is permanent or temporary. So one of the biggest issues, and I would say it's a source of complaint for, put your hand up if now or in the past, money has been a problem for you. Okay? Okay, money. Who wants more money? Yeah. So, the way my husband's a CPA and accountant, I figure we should do a psychology and money workshop together, right? That's just a college topic. So, money is an issue, but money doesn't have to be a permanent issue. And see, Amy was feeling very hopeless, and her twin was feeling hopeful. Because when, in the second session, remember that Amy was in an incredible debt, whereas her twin was coming out of debt, and in fact had almost paid off all of her debt. And what was the difference between the two is one of them saw the money problem as permanent, so why bother? Just get another credit card. And the other one saw it as temporary. So you know what? Even if I can only pay 10% above the minimum, I'll keep paying it. And so what I did is I had them go and talk to a money specialist because they needed to hear it from somebody who was an expert in the area and that there was a way out of it. And what they found when they came together, so this is their homework for session number 2, is that Zoe, that optimist, who was supposed to be so perfect in the eyes of Amy, she actually had some money issues too. She had a hard time curbing her money spending when it came to vacations. So that brought them together, and together Amy helped Zoe be more accountable. So my mother-in-law said to me when we first met, it's not how much you spend, Andrea, it's how much you save. So they focused on, that's a separate workshop. I'm back. So let's look at your problems from the pink group and look at it through that lens, Charmaine's favorite line, the lens of if a problem feels very permanent, why would we ever try, right? And think about points in your life that you could not make enough money to keep up with your lifestyle. We don't want to look at the side of making more money. It's about what do you do with the money that you have. And the idea that it isn't necessarily permanent. And this pink group, look at all these answers here. This is awesome. Okay, so one of the problems is permanent, more exercise. Put your hand up if this is a problem for you, okay? Okay, more exercise, okay? So if you look at it from a permanent perspective, this is forever. Look at your life right now. Who put more exercise? Okay. So look at your life right now. Can you in any way see it as temporary? Is it perhaps that you're traveling a lot right now? You're organizing a big event? Is there something in your life that
I am organizing an event.
Are you?
How do
The
you
psychic psychologist! So organizing TEDx, you just got back from Korea, you're in Colorado, you got an Instagram page that is on fleek. Okay. What's it going to be like, say, August 1st? What's your life going to be like August 1st? Will you have more time?
Yes.
Will you have more time July 1st?
Yes.
We have more time July 15th. Can you commit to 2 days a week before that? After leading up to 2 days.
Yes.
Does it feel like not enough? It's 2 days a week.
Sometimes it feels like not enough.
Okay. 2 days a week. July 15th, July 1st, whatever it is. It's temporary. The second you think it's permanent, then you're like, you hate yourself actually. Like the dialogue that goes up here is not good for Optimism Bootcamp. So if you mark your calendar for what date are we going to commit to?
July 1st.
Is that doable?
Mm-hmm.
2 days a week? Good till then?
Mm-hmm.
That's not beating yourself up. Okay, that's part 2. Okay. So all of us too, right? So it's not forever. It's not forever. It's definitely not forever. Who else wants to get in on that game? Because I'll find some dates for you. Anybody else want to get in on that game? Okay, so lack of confidence in relationships. Now I'm actually going to ask somebody else from the group right now to come in and do what I just did with this sticky. Looking at it as a permanent to actually temporary. Who's willing to come up and be my co-founder right here, right now? Do we have a psychology student in the house? Okay. Is it Lauren? Lorena. Okay. So let's think about it. If it's lack of confidence in relationship, if it's permanent, how can we make that seem like a temporary thing?
Well, you could probably look at it as though when you're in a relationship, it's not always going to be with somebody that's the same as you.
Okay.
So this is where like a lack of confidence may stem from, or it may stem from somewhere else. But I think when it comes to relationships,
Okay, she's a psychology major because she's looking like underneath there. Yes. Yeah.
I think when it comes to relationships, it makes you have to think about how you act and how you behave when it comes to dealing with somebody else on an intimate level. So in essence, this is just trying to get to know yourself. So if you look at it from that point of view and put in an effort to get to know yourself on that.
That's good. That's
level,
good.
then
Good.
you can maybe
Excellent. Thank you. Round of applause for the psychology student. So really, you have more control over yourself than you do in a relationship. Excellent. Thank you very much. You did really well. So lack of patience. Who's lack of patience? Who is that? And who else is lack of patience? Any type A's in the room? Okay. So lack of patience, is it permanent? It could be permanent. Is it permanent? Okay, so what would make the difference between it being permanent and not permanent?
once again learning.
Okay, learning and then realizing really what part of the day are you more likely to lose patience, right? So for example, no doubt on the way to work, no patience. No doubt when you're hungry, hangry, no patience. No doubt when you're actually doing something out of overgiving, there's a fine line between compassion and resentment. lack of patience. So it's not permanent, it's actually temporary, and it's more to the situation. So be willing to look at what is, the whole idea of the article, it's what's below the surface that's causing you to see something as permanent. And then when we're in the personal part, when we're in the permanent part, that's a part of our fight or flight. That's our nervous system that essentially makes you want to attack it instead of solve it. You're at the base part of your brain, okay?